So there's always an attachment when we talk robots. We are thinking of China and Japan, and I think they well deserve it because they've been doing really well in terms of technology. But we do have a very on young Zambians that are trying to change the perspective that we do have towards robots and actually make robots. So I'm joined by Mwengwe and Peter Lungu joining me on the Diamond Breakfast this morning. And guess what? They have a robot. Thank you, thank you so much for joining us on the Diamond Breakfast, young lady and gentleman.
Thank you very much.
First of all, I'm going to begin with you, Peter. How do you think Zambians, in general, are performing in robotics?
Well, it's a pretty new field, but obviously we've been doing a lot of jets, so we're very, very intelligent. So the robotics thing is quite new, but I think our team is doing very well. When we attest to that, they're very sharp people, and they're really implementing the same jets and physics into robotics. So it's great.
Okay, Mwengwe, you're very sharp people. Like, aren't you chuffed? He said that live on TV. But then, your own experience working with robotics, is it something that you're just born loving, or you've grown to love the art?
You know, my first love was actually mathematics. I didn't even think of robotics. I'm not a person who even thought of engineering, actually. But then when this popped up, I thought, oh, okay, so this is something new, fun. It seems interesting anyway. Like, it's a robot. I mean, come on. So, I jumped at it, and it's something that I have grown. I put in the effort to want to learn about it, and I've learned so many things just with this robot alone. I've learned so many new things, and I think it's something that I could possibly go into, actually.
She says her first love was mathematics. Wow, you guys are just amazing. Something else. But why, Peter, do you think Zambia hasn't been progressing really well with regards to robotics? Is it an issue to do with infrastructure, or is it a developing interest?
Well, I think, Jonah, the biggest issue is exposure, I mean, we only know as much as we're exposed to. So this time we've been lucky that through Selaka Sepa at Harvard, we knew about the robotics. So these kids are getting that exposure. So for me, if you're not exposed to something, you really won't know. So I think we need to expose this more to people in jets and stuff like that. So we don't have the opportunity, but now we'll bring it here, and hopefully we'll do more with it. I have no doubt about it.
So there's this project that is coming on, and you've been building a team. If you're on social media, you probably have seen the video of this robot that we have here. We do have it here, and it's gonna move. So what is this team that you're building?
Well, basically, it's a team of 7 students and myself as a mentor. It's actually called Team Zambia 72. That's 7 students, a mentor, and the Zambian people one, or 72 tribes. So it's that number is a play of numbers. But it's a group of people that are going to go to Washington, D.C. to do the robotics challenge, which we're going to talk about. So that's about the robotics competition.
Okay, tell us about the robotics challenge, Mwengwe.
Okay, so the Robotics Challenge is run by First Global. It's an NGO in the US that has its president as Joe Sestak. He's a former congressman. So First Global aims at getting robotics and STEM in general, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics as a route to change the world. So we, as of right now, have this year's theme, which is based on providing safe and clean water to everyone. So that's what the challenge is based on. So the robots that we are building, the parts that they send to us first, we have to build a robot out of those parts only. And then the challenge is that there will be a river that's created, an arena, in which we will have alliances of 3 countries in one alliance and another. Then you have to battle it out against each other to collect the most number of particles. There are water particles and contaminated particles, water particles being blue as the obvious color, and the contaminants orange. So you need to separate and clean this river using your robots. So therefore, contaminated particles will go to the laboratory or just on the bank so that it's out of the river at the end of the match, and then you'd have the water particles which can go into the reservoirs and so on and so forth. So each of those, you're just aiming to get the most number and clean the river as it is.
Okay, very interesting. And that's the project that you've been working on, or this is a different assignment?
No, this is, as of right now, this is what we've been working on.
Okay, and we're actually talking about it with Mwaka earlier on, my colleague. Robots, doesn't it scare you to think that they're going to replace us human beings? The next thing, it's going to be a robot interviewing you on the Diamond Breakfast.
You know, the thing is, it's not exactly a replacement as per se, because there is so much more that goes into the back. And that's when you realize you have so many people, like in Zambia, you have so many people who complain about science and STEM in general, saying mathematics is hard, science is hard, it's not something I can do, you know? It's not something I can do. But then it's something with time you can learn, and there's so many different fields. So I don't think a robot can replace, that can take up even your personality. I don't think that's actually possible. We'd have a 1 and a 0 running everything, no. But then it does help improve lives. And if it can improve lives, like we can get, this is just a beginning, you know. If we can get something to actually clean water, you can clean up the Kafue River. I mean, come on.
That would be something. It definitely would be something. Peter, how did you identify these young 7 people that are going to be representing Zambia?
Well, I think as an organization, we have a history of working with young people. I think most people know us for having taken Sela Kasepa to Harvard. So obviously we had a call out, a wide call out. I think I go through obviously the usual schools. So we have a lot of people, like Mwengwe is the former head girl at Fatima. We've got people from Nchanga, Nchingola. We've got some people from St. Paul's. So basically we also talk to people at JETS. So all these are accomplished people in JETS or wherever it is. So we try to, in the little time that we had, to widen the gap, but we have a balance of the gender. We have three females and 4 males. So yeah, we tried as much as we can, but next time we obviously have a wider call out.
This particular event that they're going to be participating in Washington, D.C., how do you feel it's going to help stabilize robotics knowledge down here in Zambia and science in general? I will ask you the same question one way, but Peter, from a mentor's perspective, how do you think this will be a game changer?
Well, first and foremost, John, as you said, I think we've been, like, the moment we just released the video on Facebook, people were surprised, robots in Zambia. So actually the fact that it happens, it will prove that it can actually happen. So it's been done before. So it's going to be a game changer for the nation, but for most importantly, Mwengwe and our team, the mindset to go and meet 169 countries with Japan and China, you know. When you go there and see people doing all these things, it's a mentality. I think I always say poverty is more mental than physical. If we can break the shackles in the minds, then we can be free. So the mentality to be changed, we'll come back here and we will implement a lot of things. So that will begin a spark to start robotics in Zambia. We hope Mwengwe and the team won't disappoint us.
No, they will not. They will not. What are you expecting to learn, Mwengwe?
I think the main thing for me is just like the different ways in which things can work out. I think I've already started learning a lot. I learned how to program. It's not something that I saw myself doing. There just so many. You didn't
see yourself doing a lot of things, Mwengwe.
I did not. I can't even lie. I was going to be a blank fish if it wasn't for anything. I'd have been a fish out of water. Wow. But then it's something that you grow. Like, I'm not a physicsy person. I can pass physics, but it's not my area of interest. But I've grown to learn to apply things, even the things that I learned in my classes and everything. So I think it's just a practical way of application and just adding a little bit more oomph, so to say, for it.
And is it your first time traveling to represent the country, or any school, like, for example, Washington, D.C.? Is it your first time going to Washington, D.C.?
It is my first time. It is my first time.
What you're feeling. You cannot wait, can you?
I think at this point in time, I'm still stuck on the switch. Like, oh, we're actually going? Like, it's real?
You still can't believe it. I want to see this thing here move. Can we get this robot to move so we can actually see what we are working with here, Mwengwe?
My tablet has died.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe it. It can't do this. No.
Is it still dead?
I think it's still dead.
Wow.
It's just died.
Shame on the tablet.
Shame on the tablet.
I so wanted to see the robot. Well, I've seen it move, but I wanted you to see it move. Wow.
The tablet has died, and
shame.
It's my running operator.
Shame. Anyway, we do have a video clip on Facebook. We will try our level best to get the video off Facebook and get you to see what actually these guys are able to do. And this is the team that is going to be representing Zambia in Washington D.C. But at least you got a glimpse of the robot, even if it's not going to move. I wanted to make it move. Yeah, that's the robot. We will get the video clip off Facebook, and you'll be able to see it. Thank you so much, Mwengwe and Peter. All the best, guys, as you travel to Washington.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Jenny.